Hi Phoebe, welcome to the GMA Pinoy TV Podcast.
Hello, thank you for having me.
Can you share with us your story?
So I was raped when I was 18 years old. Kaka-18 ko lang nun. I was actually heartbroken at that time. And I've only ever dated one person. And then he left the country. We were talking. So nung time na yun, MU, syempre baby love pa. But like, he's the first one. So masakit siya na he left the country. And then I found out, nung nakaalis na siya, I'm one of the boys person. And yung apat na kinasuhan ko, the three of them were my high school friends. Tapos yung isa, kakamit ko lang that night. But parang they're part of a group because they all play basketball. So yung nakakulong ngayon, kuya siya nung tatlo. And then, ayun, I trust them, I eat with them every day, kaklase ko sila. I drank out with them because I was heartbroken and as one of the boys' girl and someone who has daddy issues. Parang ako, I find comfort in their company. Kasi I'm an only child also, so I like being protected, I like boyish stuff. So at that time, actually, medyo tomboyish pa ako. Lahat ng gusto ko gawin. Like, I'm maarte on the outside, but on the inside, I love Marvel, I love playing video games. Even in college, like, all I do is play 2K. So I was always that type of girl. So I trusted them and I never expected something bad would happen because they betrayed me. So we were drinking out in a resto bar in BF. And then we continued sa house ng friend ko. And dun ko na-meet yung nakakulong now. Nagkaayaan lang na i-continue na lang sa house. So they usually do that. And that was my first time joining them. But also I trust them. And I was with my other best friend na girl din, who was dating someone from the group.
The group, yes.
So, we're all there, pero umalis na yung magjowa and my best friend. So, I have patchy memory of what happened. So, I filed a case against 4 people. Yung dalawa na-acquit kagad. So, after nung subpoena, yung isa left the country and it's an obvious sign of guilt, pero nakalusot sila. So, right now, one person is at large, one person is in prison. So I never got justice na from the other 2. Yung pinaka-vivid na memory ko na is I woke up na someone was on top of me. I was trying to scream, like at the top of my lungs, but no words came out. So I was just, parang in my head lang talaga yung sigaw and parang walang voice na lumalabas. So I just let it happen. Like, what can I do? So I felt really weak also at that time. I remember there was a moment where I was looking for my phone and it was like on the table beside the bed. I actually messaged my cousin, who's also like an older brother to me, na please pick me up, they raped me na. Because I didn't know what to do. So parang yun na yung, alam ko may araw na nun. Yung parang, I'm just waiting like, what do I do? Do I stand up? Do I walk home? I'm like lost. I'm a lost 18-year-old that's heartbroken and then I just got raped. And at that time, there was no resources on rape. Like, I didn't even know what the definition of rape was. So parang, I knew I was violated, but like, you know, ano nga ba yung rape? Ano nga ba yung kaso? Ano yung court? Ano yung gagawin ko after nito? Like, hindi ko na nga iniisip yung kaso or whatever at that time. I was just like, lost. When I woke up, I remember, wala na yung other boys sa floor. Ang nagising sa akin is yung owner of the house na hatid ka na namin. So parang ako, sunod-sunod ako. Sila act normal lang, like, okay, this is correct. Like, nothing bad happened.
So, you were in shock. Ang gusto mo na lang talaga gawin is to get out of the house.
Yeah. And it wasn't until the next morning na my cousin replied na, kasi syempre, message I got raped. So syempre, nagulo siya. I checked my phone, the message is not there. So parang they were able to get my phone and delete the message na pick me up na they raped me na. And my cousin was actually able to use that in court as well. I had 3 people that testified for me. It was my cousin, my best friend, 2 best friends, one guy best friend na kinentuhan ko after it happened, and yung best friend na may jowa.
Nakasama
na part
mo
ng group.
Nung night na yon.
Yeah. Yung part ng group na jowa na yon, he was conflicted because he was part of this group and he knows exactly what happened to me.
How is the process of dealing with the trauma?
I wouldn't wish it on anyone else. But, I mean, it takes people a while to move on. And I guess for me, if you really wanna heal and move on from it, you have to forgive the perpetrator.
So that experience, have you completely moved on from it?
Yeah, I would say I have. When I spoke on the stand nung 2020, nung nakulong na the person in jail now. When I saw him and I testified, of course I was crying. I mean, it's the most nerve-wracking thing I've done in my life. But I realized I was healed when I'm just fighting for justice, pero wala na siyang anger. Because I feel like before 2020, the anger was consuming me eh. So, parang to me, I say this in all of my interviews na whether it's a rapist or an ex-boyfriend, if you hold so much anger and hatred in your heart, you're never gonna heal. Kasi parang sinisira mo lang yung sarili mo. I would always say na hating or keeping grudges, holding anger is like eating rat poison and waiting for the other person to die. Because it consumes you. So that's the basic analogy, I guess, for me. But also as a Christian, parang Christ first forgave us. So it's literally in the Lord's Prayer na we should forgive other people. And I just hold strongly to my faith and my values. So yun, that's what really helped me heal. And that's why I'm here today na I'm able to have the strength to help other people do the same.
How long did it take you to talk to your mom?
2 weeks.
Or to your family?
To my family, 2 weeks. Because I was living with my grandfather because his house is near the school. So where it happened is also very near the school. Same street lang siya. Actually, friends ko na yung nagkwento ng story because I couldn't even tell my mom. Like, sila na yung nagkwento na this is what happened, this is what we're trying to do. So I had a good support system that, helped me get it out. I remember I wanted to give up so badly during 2020 because one, my best friend died. Two, pandemic. My best friend died kasi ng February. And then, three was I had to testify in court na for the first time kasi June 2020 na huli yung the one in prison now. So imagine, 2016 to 2020, after 4 years, finally, nakuha na siya. Ang tagal na may warrant eh. Nahanap na siya. So dun na nagsimula umusog yung case. Then by September, my birthday, I had to testify. It was literally on my mom's birthday, the day where I had to speak on the stand and remember every single detail. At that point, I didn't even have a lawyer anymore. I just had a prosecutor. At that point, I was really considering na arreglo because I didn't want to testify. I don't want to remember it. It was just so hard
Relive the memory.
I remember crying in the prosecutor's office with my tita. But my tita and my lolo reminded me all the time why you're fighting for justice. Why you're doing this. They're not, parang hindi nila gawin sa iba pang tao. Like, fight for justice. You're not fighting for money. You're fighting for justice. So I had them that kept reminding me why I'm doing what I'm doing. And I'm very glad na they pushed me because eventually I did win.
Take us through the moment when you won the case. What was the first thought that came to your head?
Actually, the judge told me na yung resolution day ng case ko last May. Sabi talaga ng judge, this is the longest resolution I've written. And it was yung buong speech niya, I think it was like 10 pages. It was leaning towards the perpetrator. I went in there with full confidence, God. Like, God, if I win this, yay. Like, but if I don't win this, I'll still be at your feet. Na I'd be broken, sayang yung 8 years na nilaban ko, but I'll still be at your feet. That's my prayer. And then, I came in with confidence na malakas yung kaso ko, wala nga nang testify para sa kanya. Nasaan yung 3 kaibigan niya ngayon? Wala naman tumulong sa kanya. So parang in my head, yun yung nire-replay ko, na now my case is strong, I'm gonna win. But when the judge was talking and was leaning towards the other side, I'm like, oh no, I'm actually scared. And it was long, so imagine, ang tagal ko naghihintay. Am I gonna win? So I was really nerve-wracked. And then I remember the judge said na 9 to 12 years in prison, or 8 to 12. Because I won in 2023. 2020 siya nahulong. So minus na yun doon, yung sentence. So it's a very compassionate sentence. So I really felt happy. I just hugged my lolo and my tita na it's over. I'm free. Parang that's my immediate reaction. And yung church services leaning before that was I'll testify, I've witnessed it. So I told God talaga yung prayer ko na nung ang dami sinasabi nung judge na leaning to the side na, God, if I win this, I'll never shut up.
Did you feel that justice had been
And
served?
justice has been served. I took that as justice, even if mababa yung sentence. Because who knows, like, what could happen in prison. Maybe he also finds God in prison. Since nga I've forgiven na, I was okay. I really was just happy that hindi ako talo. Na it was all worth it, lahat ng pinaghirapan ko. And then I remember when I thought of the idea to start PAVE.
So how are you now?
Good. Actually, it brings me so much joy that I get to help other people. Of course, when I started this, a part of me was just like, am I gonna be able to help someone? You know, I'm only human. I have confidence, Godfidence, but a part of me was like, am I actually gonna make a shift? But I fully believed in it.
So what does PAVE stand for?
Promoting awareness and victors' empowerment. Since we're very early on in the organization, everyone that replies to me, to PAVE Philippines, or sends a DM that they were raped, they were abused, they've experienced emotional violence, I talk to them. I ask to meet them for coffee, or if they live outside Metro Manila, I call them if they're comfortable in sharing their story. And some of them are the ones I've interviewed on the podcast. So parang I realized na so much people need to hear these stories so we can eliminate the shame that comes with speaking up and telling your story, because so much people, so much victims, they just live in the shadows. And with the statistics na 1 in 3 women, we know more than 3 women. Ang dami lang na ayaw magsalita.
PAVE, Phoebe, it's not just for rape victims?
Yeah, all forms of gender-based violence. At first, actually, I mean, my personal advocacies was end rape culture and mental health awareness, for that's what I personally want to. But the UN campaign noong November 25 was the International Day for the Elimination of Violence Against Women. So 16 days of activism that ends on Human Rights Day. So as I've studied the resources more, they were pivoting the VAUC, the violence against women, to gender-based violence, because there's so much more forms of violence that's based on your gender, based on your sexual identity, like physical violence, emotional violence, economic violence, like just because of your gender, you're not able to work in a certain place, or because of your spouse, or parang the family's holding money from you, that's also violence. And of course, all the forms of sexual violence, like sexual harassment, acts of lasciviousness, rape falls under that, and physical violence, of course.
What can people do to help your organization?
Actually, monetary funds would be great, since we're very early on in the organization. We have a lot of fundraising efforts planned this Women's Month, but essentially we need more funds to hit our goal of, providing free mental health, free legal counseling. These are the top 2 projects talaga na I want to pursue. Just makes me happy that, they're willing to reach out. They're willing to tell me their story. I get to know what their story is. And then somehow in my way na I get to share mine also. And when they ask me how you've moved on, then I tell them like my story and my views and of course my faith. Because for me naman, PAVE isn't supposed to be na me just speaking Jesus, sticking Christianity down your throat. It's not supposed to be that way. Like, if you ask me how I healed, I'll point you to the ultimate healer that helped me do this. But I'm not gonna be super hard sell. I'll wait for them to speak, because most of them, they just need to be heard. Why should you be ashamed? Like, the shame should be on the perpetrator, on the abuser, not on you, because you are the victor. So, parang we're just reframing that concept so more people speak out and try to do something about it. Like, whether it is counseling, start healing from it, or filing a case if they're ready.
March is Women's Month. What is your message to the other women who may have undergone the same experience?
Well, it would just be, you are not alone. 2, Your story matters. We're here for you. PAVE Philippines will be here for you. If you need someone to listen, just reach out to our social media at PAVE Philippines. And that, what I said earlier, the shame is not on you. The shame is on the aggressor. And one day, my goal also for PAVE actually is to train these survivors and turn them into survivor advocates as well, because a victim walks around with open wounds while a survivor walks around with scars healed. A victim hurts other people because of their pain, while a survivor helps heal other people. So I always use the term survivor over victim. So it puts more of a positive connotation to what happened, because they are a victor. That's why I call it victor's empowerment sa PAVE.
Thank you, Phoebe, for sharing your story.
Thank you for having me.
And we applaud you for being brave, for being a voice for other women, and good luck to PAVE.
O nak, nakuha ko na yung plate number na tinext mo. Hintayin ka namin makauwi ha.
Bilang mga babae, natural na sa atin magkaroon ng extra safety measures tuwing magko-commute o uuwi ng mag-isa. Isa na rito ang pagtawag sa mga mahal natin sa buhay tuwing nakasakay tayo sa public transpo bilang paraan para iparinig sa driver na may naghihintay sa ating makauwi ng ligtas. Pero paano kung may pagkakataon na walang internet, data o load para tumawag sa kanila? Introducing Play It Safe, isang campaign na gumagamit ng simpleng audio clips to get women home safely. Para magkaroon ng access sa Play It Safe audio clips, pumunta lamang sa playitsafe.ph at sundan ang sumusunod na steps. Step 1. Mag-register gamit ang form at isubmit ang iyong personal information na gagamitin para sa case studies tungkol sa street harassment against women. Step 2. I-download ang iba't ibang versions ng audio clips at isave sa iyong phone. Step 3. I-play ang audio clips sa loudspeaker ng phone tuwing nagko-commute o umuwi ng mag-isa. Samahan niyo kami at magtulungan tayo para ibahagi ang Play It Safe sa mga kababaihan, pero tandaan na may kasamang pag-iingat din na hindi ito makakarating sa mga taong may masamang intensyon. Let's play it safe to help each and every woman get home safely.